Hello friends, happy day. A beautiful day for that matter. I wanted to tell you guys a story. So I'm someone who's always been obsessed with ancestry. I'm the one in my family and my generation who has cared and studied, and I have a grand ancestry.com tree of my family that extends out for many generations in many different ways. And I've noticed that as I progress deeper into my inner world of spiritual healing, it's as though ancestors come up on my path at different times for different purposes, and always very potent and divine. So the Christmas before last, I was at my mom's for Christmas with my sister and her, and we talked to my great aunt, and she decided to share with us on that phone call that Pocahontas is our 14th great grandmother. So I was 34 when I found this out. Somehow made it 34 years and never knew that. And I, of course, was fascinated by it and went back home after that, after learning about that, and was really like sitting with it and looking into her life and what it was about, and of course found the connection on my ancestry tree, and it led to me just learning a lot of truths about Pocahontas, like besides what Disney and all the mainstream has talked about. There's a much deeper truth there, and I'll keep it as short as I can, but she had a baby with the native tribal partner when she was very young, and he was killed in battle. And then she met John Rolfe and eventually married him and converted to Christianity. And what I never knew up until doing this research myself last year was that when she converted to Christianity, she changed her name to Rebecca. And upon hearing this, I just, it was cool. It felt like, wow, a grandmother connection of mine. I already have one great grandmother who I was named after that I feel a special connection to. And it felt similar to that. And it's up that same line, actually. My mother's line. And I'm realizing she came to me for a very timely reason and purpose. Because as all these things have been happening in my life, I have been gaining clarity on what my purpose and passion is and where all of this is headed. And right now, my biggest culmination project that's getting ready to begin, a monthly play date called The Gathering. I say play date, but I've realized the structure of what it is. It's all based on the concept of universal reciprocity. It's not a performance, it's not an event, it's a gathering focused on community to help us get back to the core of what matters, to bring it home, to get rid of corporations and large entities that have been taking portions of our pie unnecessarily. And it's up to each and every one of us to prioritize and put our effort and energy into local communities, period. That is the way out. I've heard from a few who want to invest in spiritual business and have money to invest. And the truth is, there's no investing in spiritual business. It's not like that. It's not like it was before, where you can just give someone some money, maybe get a profit because it's a cool idea. No, it's time to get thoroughly involved. At this point, you buy the land, you build a garden, you follow your path, always using your intuition, following each step along the way. And you can't make a big blueprint plan and then try to put it into play. What I have learned is that if I want to be in alignment and on my path, Rebecca doesn't really know the full picture and what's happening, but God does. The divine totally does. So when I stay in my receptive, intuitive centers instead of my logical brain planning out my days, I know I am able to receive the next step. That's what's happening. So this morning I received that kind of like a click moment of you're picking up the baton from Rebecca Pocahontas, who played a world bridger role for two peoples who had different values and beliefs, and she somehow figured out how to bridge those two worlds together. And she made a big difference in her life, but there was much more to do. And she told me very clearly that now I'm picking up this baton, and it's not that I'm the only one. There's many of us, but I am now serving as a world bridger to break from the old chains of the corporate world, of the big, large entities. And I want to really dedicate my life, my time, my effort into getting back to local community. And that's what I'm doing here at Three Creeks Camp and Nature Preserve. This is where I live. It's my home over here. And across the street, beyond the waterfall, can't quite see it from here, but across the street is the property I will be buying in divine timing. That will be the sanctuary. The sanctuary where the priestess lives, that will be here forever, as long as divine will allow. I'm here to anchor in community. And in universal reciprocity at the gathering every month, we'll come together and we'll all bring our crafts, our products, our things that we make, offerings and services, and we'll come here and we'll experience universal reciprocity together, where everyone profits, benefits, taps into abundance, which is happiness, which is joy, which is living a life of purpose. And also that when you're able to really do this, you do magnetize resources. It doesn't have to be money. It's not about that. We're going to a different structure. And yes, money will still be a thing, but just keep an open mind. Resources come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. So yeah, I'm happy to pick up the baton from my great 14th great grandmother, Pocahontas. Amanute was her tribal name, truly. I feel very blessed to have dedicated my life to understanding each next step and relaxing into my receptive intuition. And I encourage you to do the same, because the more that each and every one of us do this, the more we are anchoring and living in the new earth.